Shall we turn on the strobe light? Okay.
Oh, so yeah, you can flick it up to the strobe position. So
okay.
At the bottom, it's just on steady.
And can I set the heading for downwind so I can easily?
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Okay. And speed is
speed is set at our V2 speed, so we always set it at V2 for our initial takeoff.
Okay. Can we set V2 plus 20?
Well, the V2 speed is our one engine climb performance speed. So the aircraft has worked out that our V2 should be 144. So if we maintain 144, that will be our best performance for one engine.
No worries.
So if you want to taxi out, bring us to 30% power. And what I'll do is once we get onto the runway, I'll talk you through the takeoff.
All right.
So what we'll do is we'll come to a stop. I'll just make some some fine-tuning adjustments. So just around to the right a tiny bit more. There we go. We'll come to a complete stop there. I'll just get on our foot brakes and I'll set our parking brakes.
Okay.
So as you correctly identified, when we look out the runway, we've got the parallax error. So we're either side of the middle looking in. So essentially, if you have that white dotted line cutting around a notch in the panel there, or about your right leg, that will be the center line for us. So if you come into land or take off, the line cuts through about there, will be in the middle of the runway.
All right.
So with the takeoff, couple of steps. I'll talk you through the steps and then we'll go ahead and do it. So first thing that we'll do shortly, bring our power to 40%. So we'll let the engine stabilize, no red flags showing to us. Once they're at 40 and stable, we'll push the auto throttle button, that one just in there. When I say rotate, we'll pull back on the controls, bring the nose up to 15 degrees, nose attitude initially, and also just fine adjustments on the rudder pedals to keep us in the middle. So if you're all happy, you can commence our takeoff. So up to 40% power, and then we can gauge the auto throttle.
Is the ILS frequency set for landing?
So once we take off, it will automatically tell us all the runway information. So as soon as we take off on downwind and we go through our checks, we'll punch the frequency in.
Okay, no worries. And 1 to 40%?
Yep, so auto throttle can be engaged. There's our airspeed alive. And 80 knots. There's V1 and rotate.
Positive rate.
So gear up. And we'll maintain 15 degrees until when we hit 1,000 feet, we can drop the nose down to 10 degrees.
Okay.
And that will be our acceleration, our altitude. And we'll maintain 10 degrees until we get to 3,000 feet, or if you have what the initial altitude is for the ILS, you can maintain that height if you'd like.
Can I turn now?
So we'll keep once we hit 3,000 feet, or once we get to about 7 miles out, we'll start a left-hand turn. About there you can start to drop the nose down. If you just rested at about 3 degrees or so between those first two lines, that will be pretty much our straight and level attitude, and you can trim it back as well. And about there you can start a turn to the left, we'll turn crosswind.
Yep.
And while you're doing that, if you look at the flight management in your computer, you can see it's given us our frequencies and all that for the ILS. So you can start to roll out wings level there, and we'll fly a bit of a crosswind, give ourselves plenty of space after to turn onto our base leg. And because the jet's obviously quite a big jet and quite heavy, I know you'll be used to using one hand, but don't be afraid to use both hands on the controls. Especially when the auto throttle is taking control of the thrust levers there. So about there you can start a left-hand turn. We'll turn onto downwind.
All right.
You can come around to the right as well to get onto if you've set your downwind heading there. If you wanted to fly onto that, give us plenty of room to make that base leg turn around to the ILS.
Okay.
So for our first landing, we'll do a touch and go.
Yep.
So as you probably know, what we'll be doing is we'll be coming down onto the runway at 50 feet. When the aircraft calls 50, we'll go power to idle, and we'll bring the nose up a little bit in our flare. And once we do hit the runway, it'll be pretty much full power, and away we go again.
Right.
So if you'd like, you can. Sorry, go on.
Would you put the flaps up to 15 degrees after we touch down?
Oh yeah, no. I'll take care of the flaps and bring them up for you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
So if you'd like, now we're getting a beam our runway. So if you'd like, you can slow the aircraft down to 200 knots to 200.
Okay.
It'll help
Speed
us to.
200.
Yep. And you can also tune. You can see our ILS frequency there, 110.10. So
here?
you can tune that. Yep, on the standby. So there we go. You can hitch that over to the active side, and the identifier there of ISN is set there with the ISN, and you can see our course for that is 335. So I'll set to 335 on our courses here. What you can do, so did you want to fly hand fly the ILS down, or an autopilot approach?
Can we disengage the autopilot on 400 feet?
Yeah, sure. So if you like, we can fly the actual ILS on the autopilot, then disengage at 400.
Okay. And can we put flaps 1 for now?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to bring our flaps to 1, and you can bring our speed now to 180 knots.
Okay, speed 180.
And about now you can start to make a left-hand turn onto base.
Alright. And maintain 3,000 feet as well?
Yeah, or if it says otherwise on the actual approach what the initial attitude to enter the ILS is, then you can descend to that height if you'd like.
Okay.
Like you're going to roll the wings. We can roll wings level there. Looks like the glide slope is still below us, as indicated down there. So we need to capture it from below. So you can start to descend now. We'll come down to maybe 2,000 feet to make sure we establish ourselves on the glide slope from underneath.
Okay.
And now you can bring our flaps to 5.
Okay, flaps 5.
And our speed can come down to 160 knots. And we'll start coming down to 2,000. You can see we want the glide slope to come above, so we capture it from below. Otherwise, we may not have time to capture it there. What I'll do is I'll set our current heading, so we can see we've captured the localizer. You can see has come up there.
Okay.
Now that the glide slope is above us, what we can do is we can turn on command A there for autopilot A. And then you can also select approach mode. There we go, and you can let go of the flight controls there, and you can see there's our localizer captured. And what we'll do is we'll set our course of our heading, sorry, of 335 in case we have to disengage and do a go around.
And shall we put the gear down?
Yep. So normally once we get 1 dot above, we'll go gear down, flaps 15, and then speed down to 150.
Okay.
So about now you can see the glide slope. So gear down.
Okay, gear down.
Now flaps 15. Now speed can come down to 150 knots. And shortly you can see it's got our flap speed for 30 degrees, 138. We'll use VRF plus 5, so it'll be 143 knots for our final approach speed. So we can go through our landing checklist. So our engine start switches are on continuous. Our speed brake is not armed for a touch and go. Our landing gear is down, and we can bring flaps now to 30.
Okay, flaps 30.
Yep. Okay, and you can bring our speed down to 143 knots. And that's our flaps at 30 with green lights. So what we'll do when you take control, so you know the autopilot disengage, that one in there, and also the auto throttle disengage, that one just there. So if you click them both twice, that will disengage and then get rid of the warning as well for that we've disengaged it. So you said you wanted 400 feet?
Yeah.
No worries. So if you want to set, you can set your radio minimums down to.
It's like 660.
So radio minimums can come to 400 feet. So that's going to be your minimum if you'd like to let you know when you want to take over.
All right. There's a little bit crosswind from the right.
Yeah, so it looks like we'll be we're crabbing a bit. So just be aware of that one. You might need to sort of kick it back in once you disengage the autopilot there.
500.
So autopilot disengaged?
Yep. You can disengage the auto throttle, there you go. There's our flaps 15. Okay, you can go full power now. Engines will take a second to spool up. There they go.
So positive rate.
And that's gear up. I'll engage our auto throttle now to set to 230 knots.
Alright, thank you.
And whenever you'd like, you can start a left-hand turn onto crosswind whenever you feel comfortable. And we'll climb again to 3,000 feet.
Yep.
Now, did you want to change the weather for this one? Maybe make it a nighttime approach, or happy with the day?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, try the nighttime approach.
Go to nighttime? No worries. Did you still want to do same as before, ILS disengage 400, or?
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
Maybe one down. Maybe I change the localizer and the guide slope manually.
Do you want to fly it manually?
Yeah.
Yep, no worries.
Thank you.
Turn them all the way down to the left. So if you like, I'll take control. There'll be two white knobs down to your left knee there. If you sort of turn them both all the way down to the left. There you go, and the one on top of it as well. There you go, perfect. You have control again.
Okay, I have control.
And about now we can turn onto our downwind. About 20 to 30 degrees before you can anticipate the rollout onto your heading. Yeah, perfect.
Fuel.
So yep, so we've got a master caution for fuel. So looking at our fuel gauge, you can see our centre tank's empty. So yep, turn both out. So if you just pull down and then up, there you go, and that's, you can see that's a warning disappears. So because it'll be a full stop, we can start to set the aircraft up for a full stop landing. So if you'd like to set, we can go auto brake to 2. You can arm our speed brakes as well. Just by, yep, there you go. So there's our speed brakes armed. And probably a beam via the threshold, you can bring our speed back to 200 knots, maybe in about 2 miles or so.
Okay.
You can see our glide slope has been come alive there on the right of your PFD. About now, we could probably, if you want to get our altitude down to 2,000 feet. Then you probably start to descend to 2,000 now, and our speed can come back to 200 knots. It's important we get our speed back quickly because the aircraft is very slippery. It doesn't like to slow down.
Okay.
So you'll find that once we start to descend, the autothrottle will bring power to idle, but our speed will still increase. It just doesn't like to slow down. So sometimes we'll have to get our spoilers out to the flight detemp position. So glide slope's above us. If you like, you can start to turn onto a base here, and that should get. If you just do a sort of standard 30 degree, 25 degree turn, that should give us about a 7 or so mile final.
Yep. Shall we bring flaps 1?
Yep, so normally, as soon as we turn onto base, but yep, flaps to 1 and our speed to 180 knots.
Okay, speed 180.
Blow our flap 5 speed, so you can bring our flaps down to 5 degrees and our speed to 160 knots. There we go. So yep, if you roll wings level there, once we get onto our glide slope, you can start following that. So you want to hand fly the yep, cool. So you can see once the glide slope comes to us, we'll start to follow that one down, and we'll wait for us to capture our localizer, which is there we go.
Okay.
About now we can probably get our gear down.
Gear down.
And our flaps to 15. And speed to 150 knots. So for our full stop, once we hit the runway, it'll be the same as 450 feet, power to idle, nose up. Once all the wheels are on the ground, reverse thrust engage, going down through 60 knots, we can disengage our reverse thrust, and we'll come to a stop on the runway.
Alright, no worries.
And we'll wait to get to our flap 30 once we're established on final. Once we're established on final, otherwise, yeah, we'll probably just fly in a little bit too slow. Localizer coming to us now. Established on final, so we can get to our flaps to 30.
Flaps 30.
And our speed to 142 knots. Now if you bring us just around to the left a little more to get back onto the localizer, I'll go through our landing checklist. So our engine start switches are on continuous, our speed brake is armed, our landing gear is down, and our flaps are 30 with green lights.
$1,000. 500.
nose can come up just a little bit more. You can see the glide slopes are getting away from us a little bit. There we go. And coming back down now, it looks good. We're going to disengage our auto throttle now.
$100, 50, 30, 20, 10.
Oops.
That's alright, so now we can engage our reverse thrust.
Oh.
So we get on our foot brakes now. We'll apply manual braking. Cool. How'd you find those landings there? Good?
Yeah, just it's pumpy.
Yeah. I think with that last one, I think with the speed we got maybe about 7 or 8 knots, just a little bit too slow. So when you pulled up, we sort of just gone a little bit harder on the runway there. But that was fine. You followed the glide slope and localizer really well. So that was a really good job. What I'll do is you sit tight. I'll set us over at the Hong Kong airport.
Alright.
Did you want to do the approaches during the night time or during the day to start with?
Just do the daytime first. Yeah.
No worries. You can turn the lights back up there. The top knob just turn sort of halfway up, just so it's not too bright for you. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just take 1 minute just to reset up the flight management computer. If you want to clean up the aircraft, bring our flaps and our speed brake up while I do this one here.
Flap 15 for takeoff? Or
We can do a flap 5 is fine for here, yep. You can also get our auto brake to RTO as well if you'd like. There's our trim of 4.5 set. Cool, alright. So we have a course of
73?
Yep, so 03 at 73 sounds good. Actually, what we could probably do is we can set our course to 088, because that will be our first sort of course that we fly when we turn into the Hong Kong airport, our sort of track over there. Cool, so for our first one, what we'll do is, so if you just go to the course 088, because that will be we'll do an initial takeoff turn to the right, so I'll just go to a 088, that's alright, because that will be pretty much an initial turn straight away once we take off.
And how about the initial climb? Is it 4,500?
So for standard into just for the circuit procedure from here to the short flight over, it's a very short distance, so we'll just maintain 2,000.
Okay.
We'll maintain speed 190 at flat 5 because you'll find it's a very short flight over. So what we'll do is same thing as before. If you're happy, I'll release the parking brake up to 40% power.
Yep. M1 to 40%.
Sorry.
M1 to 40%. Okay.
Yep, that's right. So then we'll just as long as they look stable, so that looks good. So you can engage our auto throttle. There you go. Sometimes it's a little bit iffy, but there we go. There's our airspeed alive.
$100 knots.
V1 and rotate. It's a positive rate, so bring our gear up. There we go, and I'll set our speed to 190 knots. Passing 1,000, we can drop the nose down to 10 degrees, so about now we can drop down to 10 degrees on the nose, and just looking out, it's more of a sort of a visual approach here. So once we're clear of these mountains at 2,000 feet, we'll turn onto a heading of 090.
Okay. We'll turn when we reach 2,000 feet.
Yep, so just 2,000 feet for this circuit. So about now you can drop the nose down, and we have the heading there of 090, but if you look out, we can almost fly this one visually. So you can see the white mountain and the ranges there, the one that's white out to the right there. So if you sort of start to aim just to the left, the mountain to the left of that white one, so we can sort of fly visually at the moment. So just coming around to the right a little bit, you'll find the heading will probably be about 085 maybe. So you can see how that mountain range straight up there sort of comes around to the left there. So we sort of want to follow that mountain range in, and then you'll find that the Capt airport will be on our right. So about now we can aim for that highest peak. So if you line the notch up in the panel with that the highest peak that you see there, and it'll get pretty busy pretty quick already. Shortly we'll have to take our gear down. This is looking good because as you can see, it's very important to maintain your correct altitude here, which you're doing very well. You don't want to be getting low with obviously the mountains and the buildings.
Yep.
So you've got the terrain on there, which is correct. We also turn off our terrain inhibitor for this one here because we get close to so much ground, it just gets annoying at it barking at us constantly. So the colour schemes there, it's green is anywhere from your level to 1,000 below you. Okay. The yellow is anywhere between your level and terrain 1,000 above, and the red is 1,000 to 2,000 feet above you.
Okay.
So yep, touch and go again. So same procedure that we did before.
All right.
So approaching 5 miles out. So if you'd like, you can go our gear down.
Gear down.
Our flaps to 15, and our speed can come back all the way to 150 knots.
So I'll follow the iOS, which is the IGS frequency is 111.9.
Yep, so 111.90.
Okay.
So you can we can tune that as well if you'd like.
Yeah, it's here.
Yep, you got it set. Cool. So with the IGS, you'll find that if you want to fly it, that's perfectly fine with the localizer. Sometimes the localizer does give you a bit close and does make it a little bit harder to turn in. But
Okay.
if you're visual, you can widen out the localizer a little bit if you'd like. But yeah, it's perfectly fine, obviously, to follow it. Just be aware we do have a wind coming from our right. So once we turn into the runway, we will get pushed out a little bit. So just one thing to remain aware of.
Okay.
And ideally, we'll be making our right-hand turn at about 660 feet.
Okay.
So if you have time, you can set our minimums to 660 on the radio there. Our baro's already set at 660. So you can see the checkerboard
Yep.
out there to the left, and the approach lights amongst the buildings. And you can bring our flaps to 30 now.
Okay,
and
flaps
our
30.
speed can be 142 knots.
$1,000.
If you want to take our auto throttle off at our minimums, and then just important to watch the speed as you make that turn. You don't lose too much speed. See the approach lighting curving around, guiding us into the runway.
Yep.
And there's our middle marker.
$500.
And those can come up just a little bit more. See with the PAPI lights we're just a little bit too low.
Yep.
It's looking good, so you can disengage our auto throttle now.
100. 50. 30.
Power can come to idle now.
20. 10.
There we go. We'll go do you can go full power now. Yep, we'll go to touch and go. Engines will take a second to spool in, but we should have a sufficient runway remaining. There we go.
The speed's not going up.
Yep, there we go. So there's our rotate.
Okay.
That's a positive rate of climb. Bring our gear up.
Gear up.
And we'll climb up to 3,000 feet.
Okay. Climb to 3,000.
Now, did you want to try approach on the day again, or make it night time? We can look at the autopilot, how it follows the IGS, or...
Okay, so make it a nighttime.
Nighttime, yeah, sure. So I'll just bring the nose down. What we'll do is we'll engage our autopilot here. So there we go, and that will... go, and what I'll do is I'll go set us up at night time. We can maybe make some thunderstorms as well if you'd like, make it a bit more interesting. Yep, sound good. And if you want to turn our heading now to about 255.
255.
Yep.
Yep, thank you.
Do you want me to get a photo of you from this side?
Oh, yes, thank you.
No worries. 3, 2, 1. Grab a couple there for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so for this one here, what we'll do is, oh yeah, no, go for it. No, get that one there.
Would you please take one more with the
yeah, sure,
lights?
no worries.
Yeah. Oh, there are some fireworks.
Yeah, got fireworks going. Not a great night for it with the thunderstorms, but... So you can kill the lights again if you'd like on those two dials there. So for this one, what we'll do is we'll allow the well, we can either get the autopilot to fly the initial IGS, or you can hand fly the localizer and IGS if you'd like. So I'll leave it up to you. So normally what we do once we get to about, I'll zoom out here for you, I'll get the that station on. So normally when we get to that station, Charlie Hotel, we normally make a right-hand turn to intercept the IGS there. So yeah, would you prefer to hand fly it or go on the autopilot?
Yeah, do some hand flight now.
Yep, sounds good.
Just heading towards Charlie Hotel.
Yep, so we head to Charlie Hotel. That normally gives us enough time to sort of set the aircraft up on the IGS. And yeah, once we're sort of in the vicinity of that Charlie Hotel there, what you can do is you can make a right-hand turn to intercept the IGS.
Alright, no worries. Have you been to Hong Kong before?
No, I haven't actually been. I've been meaning to go, but yeah, no, I haven't been there before.
Okay. The Charlie Hotel there is in Cheung Chau.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know also, I think it's, we've turned our airport data on, I think it's, that's Macau straight up ahead, isn't it? I think, yeah, there's a VMMC.
The weather in Hong Kong yesterday, they have like signal number 10 typhoon.
10? Oh, yeah. Level 10, oh really?
And the wind speed is like 130 kilometers per hour.
I'm assuming a few flights cancelled then.
There's only one airplane land.
Oh really?
In Capt.
Jeez.
Yeah. Which is KLM.
Oh okay, yeah, pretty crazy weather over there.
747.
Oh really?
Yeah. She catch it when the typhoon eye is right on the airport.
Oh, okay, so it settled down just for a little bit. So once we sort of establish when we're heading towards the IGS, we can start to get our flaps down. See, there's a bit of terrain out to our left, so we'll keep the turn here coming around just a little bit more.
Okay. Just like that?
Yeah, that looks good. So you can roll wings level there until we establish onto the IGS, and you can see our glide slope has been, we can see it's come alive there. So you can bring our gear down.
Gear down.
And flaps to 15. And you can speed back to 160 knots.
So we're going to make a full stop?
Yep, so this one will do a full stop landing, yep. Yeah, good choice with the auto brake at 3. Probably a wet runway with the thunderstorm. So
yeah. Usually I will pick a mess on Iansport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Airport. Yeah, for the runway 08.
Yeah, it's another difficult one, stuck in the middle of the valley there.
Yeah. Should we turn now?
Yeah, we can probably start our right-hand turn. The localizer doesn't look like it's come alive yet. We're 9.2 miles out, so really it should have, but. There we go, there's our, looks like our IGS localizer has come up there.
And shall we engage the autopilot for the auto approach? Yeah.
Oh, so no. If you wanted to hand fly it, we're already established on the IGS there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's up to you if you want to keep flying. You're doing well. So
let's hand fly then.
Yeah, you can go autopilot if you want, but you're doing just as well as the autopilot at the moment anyway. So. See the approach lights coming into view there. So I'll take control if you'd like to take a photo.
Handing over.
Taking over.
So taking over?
Handing over.
Thank you.
So you can see probably at about almost this point here, you can start to sort of hand off the localizer. As we get closer, it'll just get too touchy to start to follow it. So yeah, if you just head straight for the approach lights, disregard the localizer on the screen there probably, and then just follow the glide slope there.
$1,000.
That's our middle marker.
$500. $100. $50. $30. $20. $10.
Awesome.
Reverse thrust. Manual braking.
And if you can make this taxiway around to the left, I'll get a couple of our lights on, makes the taxi lights a bit easier to see. Good catch on the speed when it got a little low there at the end as well.
Yeah, the performance is so unlike the Cessna.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So all the way around to the left, we're going to fall into the water over there. Now the taxi back to the terminal takes a little bit of time. So if you'd like, we can stop here, and if you want to go down through an engine shutdown procedure, if you'd like.
Just taxi to the gate.
Oh, you just want to taxi to the gate?
Yeah, can I take a photo here?
Yeah, no worries.
Lovely.
So you can keep the power at about about 30%. Normally, I think about 15 knots on the or up to 15 knots is probably the maximum for turning. Then you probably get about 20 when you're in a straight line. Just head straight for the gate up here. If you're happy with that one there.
Okay. Is there any docking system that I would know when should I stop? Fully stop.
Some airports do in the system, but I'm not sure if it's has it available here. So yeah, I guess not. If you just follow the line straight in here.
Oh, there's no. Maybe just stop now.
Yeah, so manual braking, and then yeah, I'll set our auto brake. Awesome. So how'd you find that? Oh, good.
Forgot to.
Oh yeah, let's turn on the APU overtaxing, but that's alright. Like you can turn your lights back up as well. How'd you find that all alright? All good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, I thought you did really well. Obviously, I have to tell you, I've done a bit of it before. Do you have any other questions, or all pretty happy with it while we're still in here? Turn on our APU bleed and our isolation valve to open as well. And you can turn all the taxi lights can come off.
So switch off engine?
Yep, so engines can come off.
So remain this one?
Yep, so all the others off except
Yeah.
that one there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then just the other thing we do, our probe heats off and our window heats off. Now the ignition probably just to stay on the APU as well. Otherwise, yeah, that's
Does it work?
no, so yeah, no wipers, but yeah. So yeah, so that one there doesn't do anything, but yeah, the other tests for all the autopilot and all that sort of stuff work as well.
Well, I want to take a picture on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.